Hello, and welcome to another episode of Full Circle with me, Onyx. And today, I'm still kind of on my relationship inquiry kick. Um, I'm interested in it, and it's because I feel like I met the special person of my life, and then it was really good for 6 months, but there was all sorts of stuff going on. I was like seeing and not seeing. And then, we obviously broke up, and it was a really hard experience, initiation to go through, to lose something that you want to keep or you valued. And I feel like loss, is the basis of Buddhism, you know, and in a weird way, enlightenment. So think of your loss of relationships, loss of loved ones, as an initiation, trial by fire. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But then also understand that, yes, you will die. You know, I love that little thing. It says something like, if I tell you, then I'll have to kill you. It's kind of like that. You become changed and transformed. And so I feel like we go through little deaths of the ego, little deaths of the personality to expand and grow into the person we're continuously becoming as we evolve. And that's such good little sip of tea. So during my relationship experience where I gave it my all, I want to immerse myself into the experience. And I think as much as you love, you also feel the opposite, the pain. I think most negative emotions is a resistance to the truth that's inside of you. So, this video is to help you gain your power back. Um, we lose power, and there's always power games being uh, there's a power phase in a relationship. Usually after there's like 5 phases of a relationship, and I think like maybe after the first one or two, you go into the power phase, and you're kind of like setting the tone for the dominant role or the passive role or the programming on how it's going to flow. And I feel like that's when people break up. After that initial phase too, where you're interested in them, usually physically, um, you don't really know much about the person. And the getting to really know who you are, masks off, doesn't happen until like stage 4. It's kind of like, and all the stages, they're not hard lines. You can't be like, oh, we're definitely in the power phase now. You're going to move back and forth. And the real secret to keeping relationships is being able to go all the way back to step 1 into that idealized romantic phase. To be able to rekindle and resurrect your relationship after a fight, or after you get to know the other person and realize they're just another person. You know, the limerence, the halo effect, it's all worn off. If you can like learn to play music, learn to move through these 5 phases at will, you know, you can have a highly successful, energized relationship. Another thing for, this is a little bit off. I just kind of do this stuff intuitively and within a flow. Uh, as you continuously evolve and grow, as you learn to self-reflect on the experiences, you evolve, and then that brings forth new energy. So I think we get caught up in trying to maintain the act that we understand, the patterns that we now cemented in. But our relationships die, the conversation dies. What needs to happen is a breakup, or removing yourself, getting back to center, or going out to the world and exploring new things, and then coming back. So once you've really established a foundation based on trust, um, and predictability, creating the safety. So trust, safety, permission, those three ingredients really create a foundation for you to then explore within your relationship, to really explore the power struggle, because you're like, you know, you're committed in the relationship. There's loyalty, there's trust, you have a base. You can always get back to good if you've really created that, tended to your garden of the development. And so if you were in a relationship and you're reflecting, why didn't it work? Chances are you didn't create a good soil to plant uh, the tree of your relationship. So even though maybe you were tending to it, it had no good foundation. Maybe the soil had too much of a certain pH balance. Maybe it was the wrong consistency. You needed more clay. You needed more pumice, who knows, or peat moss. And it could have been like totally the wrong environment you were trying to plant the seed. So it's illogical. There's no reason to go into self beat up and confusion, and or even psychoanalyzing or spiritualizing it to death. The reality is the foundation isn't there. So really, we're talking about, I really want this video to be about how you can gain your power back. Whether it's a temporary breakup, whether it's not even a breakup and you're just having a disagreement and you've like maybe locked yourself in your room for a while, metaphorically speaking, you've iced the person out, as you're trying to process, as you're trying to gain the upper hand. There is a women's movement going on where we as women, if you however you identify, I'm two-souled. I have a male and a female soul. I've already married my soulmate, which is me. She's a goddess and she gets to share in my body. We're one. So that's a long, complicated, past life, spiritual, evolutionary story. It's all me. But I'm definitely in touch with my inner femme and my inner masculine self, and their journey. They took two different paths. But anyways, so we as women want to feel empowered, valued, heard, respected. We want to sometimes be the dominant one in the relationship. And so how do we gain our power back? And then I feel like in Western culture, we downplay being sensitive. We downplay being reflective, being intuitive, thinking we're going to lose something, and that's not true. So, and for men, they're like quiet. They're taught not to share their emotions. So they kind of live in their own head, or they go somewhere else and hang out with their friends, or they go to their workshop, or they go to the gym. It's a place of where they can clear their head and do their own self-reflection and have a timeout. Everyone needs timeout. Recently, I learned it's people actually want freedom more than love. And what I've known for a while is love is just frosting on a cake. You have to have substance. That substance is foundation, The foundation of a cake is flour, then sugar, egg to hold it together, some water to mix it, a little bit of, a little pinch of salt and a little bit of baking powder. That's basically what a cake is. And so a lot of people rush into relationships without having the foundation. So we've kind of just restated all that. But moving back into how we get our power back, I really think of the Wheel of Fortune card, which is, in my mind, completely the wrong name for that card. It should be cycles, it should be the karmic wheel. I think, people don't want to go get a card reading when there's doom and gloom and fear. And really, the Wheel of Fortune card represented the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. It also, and because it represented cycles, that means there's a rhythm. There's a cycle of life. There's a cycle of the seasons. And so it can also be of evolution. It can be revolutionary. Um, and so really, when we honor the cycles of the relationship, the stages, when we honor the cycles of our own personal evolution, that's one way we can get our power back. And so with each experience, you evolve, you know? So we're honoring the cycles. So enough of this self beat up, enough of this stupid psychology and life coaching is what I'm trying to say. Arguments, tension, breakups happen because we're given new lessons and we must then struggle. And in that struggle, we create new neural networks in our brain. Through these new solutions, we become very adept at relating to each other. And so if you're struggling all the time, chances are you've struggled in all your relationships. Life is a mirror. So really, the reality, it's so hard to realize this, but once you realize it, it becomes easier and easier. Whatever is going on in your relationship is a reflection of what's going on in you. If you feel like your partner isn't hearing you, you're not hearing yourself on a deeper level. So when you say, you don't meet my needs, you're not meeting your needs. You're making me feel abandoned and left out. You're leaving me alone. You're leaving yourself alone. You're abandoning yourself. You're leaving yourself out. So psychology is super simple. It's just a mirror. Life is a mirror. Metaphysics, law of creation, manifestation, same. Life is a mirror. And so the breakup period is actually the most powerful period of your life, where you get to step off stage as an actor and you get to go into the back room and you get to reflect. You get to say, what's going right with this storyline? What's going wrong? What does my character need to do to convince the audience better? / how do I make this story better? If I get another chance to go on stage, if the audience wants me there, if life, if the director, and you're all the parts, you're the actors, you're the audience, you're the director. And so when you're off stage, and you need to get off stage, don't stay on stage. We have a tendency to try harder, and that's like adding gasoline to the fire. We're taught to do more, give more, be an overgiver, be an oversharer, get overly invested, think too much, and that's just putting gasoline on the fire. You're giving all your power, and you're burning the whole building down. And then you're saying, well, I need to burn it down in order to start fresh and new. No, you need to learn to relax and hear those cues when you're asked to open up and listen to the other person, when you're asked to open up and listen to the greater person, you, and step off stage. So it's been a really hard journey for me to go, okay, my friends aren't calling me. I'm not invited to these places. I'm not a part of that. Now I'm alone. And then the hard part is to realize, oh, the universe wants me to be alone. There's something I'm going to get. Maybe I need to be alone and then leave everything outside and meditate. Not be alone with my thoughts, but throw my thoughts away. Process that out and just be with me and reclaim my energy. So I can see that I'm a super talker. So I'll try to get these things out for you real fast. The being present in the moment, being here now, is how you reclaim your energy. When you're thinking of the past, problem solving, or you're worrying about the future, or you're anticipating the future, your energy is scattered. When you're, so processing your feelings, processing is kind of scattering your energy a bit. You're putting it into the mental plane, but it's not grounded here in the physical plane to be a magnet. So, trust is a big issue. You've been disconnected from your partner, and it's always for your highest good, and we trust the process, which could be the true meaning of the Wheel of Fortune. Trust the cycles of life. Trust the rhythms of your own being, of theirs, of the universe, of the stars. So the meaning is you're being asked to take a breath, ground, be in the present moment, come back to you. Probably because you're overgiving, over worrying, over analyzing, and you're fretting. Or if you're a little bit more on the narcissistic end, which we all are at times, you might feel like you need more validation through others or more entertainment. And it's because, once again, we haven't processed deep feelings from our past, from our childhood, whatever, it doesn't matter. Get back to present, get back on your throne, get back in your castle. You've been visiting their castle. Come back to your village, come back to your town, come back to your castle. Sit on your throne and rule. So, literally, Raja Yoga is meditation for the kings, and it makes a king out of you. And by the very definition of Raja Yoga being the royal art, when you sit there with dignity, and the higher power, your crown chakra, which connects you to the unity, um, you align yourself, and then you're not your everyday matrix person, your little 3D self playing a character. You all of a sudden get reconnected to a higher power that upgrades you, and then you feel back in your power. So in a really weird way, the way to always get your power back in conversations, in conflicts, in relationships, is to push the pause button on life, get back into your little personal sanctuary, and get reacquainted with your spiritual self, and get reacquainted with the spiritual being inside of you. So, find your center. Once you do that, then your intuition kicks on. Then you stop using your outer senses. He said, she said. I remember. So, like, all you have to go, your analyzer, all it has is the story, the plot, the script. It doesn't have access to the creative genius that wrote the script. It doesn't have access to that part of the actor that does the improv that's so good you keep it in the movie. There's that creative genius working within the actor. That's your intuition, that's the consciousness, that's the inner genius, that's the guru within, that's the divine you. That is really what your partner wants. So you're out of practice. You're so in your 3D vehicle, doing, acting, trying to win that approval, you've overdone it. Get back in your power by, centering, grounding, get back. Whatever it takes for you to dial in. Being alone is a gift. Being alone actually means all in one. So the reality is we either scatter our pieces everywhere. That could be work, that could be friends, that could be all kinds of projects, and then you have nothing for your relationship, so you lost it. You have nothing for yourself, then you lost it. Or you've dumped it into, you've misdirected a whole bunch of energy. So we don't really care what the problem is, the solution's the same. Time alone. Sitting in your glory and your magnificence. The opposite of cutting up your past and dissecting it and looking at it. The opposite of talking about it with your friends. The opposite of questioning and thinking. You say no. I turn off my five senses to the outer world. I forget the history and the future making. The dreams, the fantasies, all of that I'm manufacturing. I forget it all. I'm just here now. I'm just being present. Then all of a sudden it will naturally reconnect and you'll have what I call a healing breath. You'll also go, and it just feels like a 10-pound weight just left you. That's the signal you're reconnected. I'm not trying to block out my feelings and thoughts. They just come and flow. Things start to work out and process. And the art of self-reflection is naturally happening by you relaxed and just being. We trust the moment. So then this wonderful thing happens called I am. You realize, here I am now. I am all that is, all that ever was and will be. I am that I am. I can't even be defined. So whatever someone has experienced of you, that was in the level of the script. You were actors acting your parts. I forgive my past. I forgive my future. I forgive the strange. I don't know what they call it. It's like a divine comedy. There's a joke being played. You're so much more than the sum of your parts. And when we mistaken the other person for just the parts, we just see the actor and we hear what they said, and then we look at just what they did and the results, and then we think we're being practical and logical. And the big joke is on us. 90% of our being is not material. It's energy. It's light. It's consciousness. Same goes for you. Same goes for them. So there's this big mistaking going on. I love the word mistake because I love to break it up and say mistake. I mistook you for the sum of your parts. And I failed to realize in the week, in the moment, that you're so much more. So you've downgraded to someone to just a caricature. And then you say, I'm unhappy with him or her. You downgraded yourself. You gave your power away. You're more than the sum of your parts. So it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what you have. Your car doesn't mean anything. Your house doesn't mean anything. You working hard and looking like a model, you working on your body doesn't mean anything because you could die tomorrow. We're going for quality over quantity. So when I mistake you, when I mistake myself, and not read between the lines and get the essence of the experience, I didn't get the 99. I only got the 1%. So 99% of you, 99% of reality is immaterial. And so that's why you're not connected. That's why you're not feeling them. That's why you're confused. You're looking to that 1% to solve the 99. Stop and let go. So now that we kind of understand this, we've been on this journey together, we can now understand the concept of flow and surrender. So I'm just going to have to trust. The foundation is you're going to have to decide, is this universe, does it actually support my highest good? Do I have a living relationship with the universe? If so, then I can trust the flow. I can trust the Wheel of Fortune card, the cycles of life, death, rebirth, whatever it is. I don't need to know it all, but I can just trust. I can trust that the universe has created this separation from me and my person, or it's forcing me to move on to a new person. Either way, I have to process everything. So I trust that I'm being asked It's not like waking up at 4 a.m. and seeing 11:11 on my clock and things like that. That's not the sign. The sign is more simple. He just said, I don't want to see you anymore. It's over. Or I'm not, whatever it is. Okay, that's the 1% 3D. Now I'm being asked to sit on my throne and meditate, become centered and grounded, and be open up to that 99% intuition, cosmic, awesome self. Bring my energy back. So, being separated is a good thing. Sure, no big deal. Honestly, I must obey the directive coming from the universe, the master writer. At this part in the story, Onyx, you take a break, you take a sit down, you get off stage, listen to the cue, be willing to follow. Okay. And the process might take a long time. So while I was in separation, I was brushing my teeth, getting ready for work, and literally my own voice said, "Do you realize you're grieving?" And I went, "No. Grieving's new to me. I've never wanted someone or an experience so badly that when I lost it, it was the death of the dream. It was the death of the idea. It was the fear of not having that created a sense of grief." And I went, oh, no wonder why for 2 years I couldn't get over this, because I didn't know how to process my grief. And honestly, time is how you process grief. You go through emotions. You're like, yay, I'm free, it's over. You might even go see other people. Oh, I don't want to date you. You're not like what I expected because I wanted this experience. You didn't really let go. So the more you're centered and you're going into your meditation, you're taking off yesterday. You're taking off your thoughts. You're unpacking. So meditation, these meditative states happen naturally when you take a break. Learning to take breaks will create longevity and rejuvenating power because we're getting our power back. So take all this stuff off, and you all of a sudden you just found out you processed your emotions. And what's really cool is all the insights. Oh, I could have said that clearer. Yeah. Oh, I see. This goes all the way back to my childhood, not having parents that were actually functional, that weren't in love. Oh, I see. After I watched a few videos. So your process can take a long time. It can move up and down. It can go through stages. And then all of a sudden, when you've unpacked and you've processed your life, yourself, the world, you come to this, you've recycled everything. And then you feel fresh and new. And you've gained the diamonds, the pearls, the wisdom. You've gained those precious gems of the struggle you went through. So instead of holding on to negative feelings, you're saying thank you. You're grateful. And then you've also built up courage. So you might choose to do another round and say, universe, is it acceptable? In all your wisdom and all your insight of all knowing, being the 99%, being the embodiment of 99% of the invisible reality of things, you, God, source, creative energy. Is it in my highest good to continue forward? And you either will or you won't. And that is your answer. Accept and surrender. The journey might continue with someone else, and you actually might have graduated. The person who came into your life as a momentary soulmate, or whatever you want to define it as, served you and you served them. And on the deepest level, in the oneness that we are, it's all good. There is nothing to forgive. You played your part unconsciously well. You're like, oh, I needed to be blinded to certain facts of the truth of my nature, like I'm a divine God, in order to go down and play the 3D part as you served someone else, as you maybe said foul things, as you maybe were too clingy. And so these negative things that you're judging yourself for were the exact things that you may need to dish out in order for the other person's experience. So this movie's little video is coming to the end. And I hope you realize, yes, you can gain your power back by becoming centered, coming back to your personal world, your personal body, because you're an overgiver, an overthinker, an overfixer, you know, you meddle too much in your life and others. Come back to center, the present moment, the power of now. And then the energy starts flowing. You feel connected to the 99% of reality that's behind our five senses. You feel good about yourself. You're royal. You're on your royal throne. We're in a state of Raja, divine kingship, queenship. Now, in your beautiful state of being, I love and forgive and see all the parts and pieces of the show in the oneness, in the eye, with the eye of unity, with the eye of oneness, your cosmic self. Who are you not to be beautiful? Who are you not to shine? Give yourself permission to integrate these energies on a daily basis, taking more time for you to evolve and grow yourself. Become a beautiful tree. Water yourself. Take care of yourself so you can give the fruits of your knowledge. You are the living tree of life. You are your own soulmate. And the best relationship you're going to have is with you and source energy, however that is expressed for you. Trust in the flow and the wisdom. Be in the undefined. Let there be freedom. And deeply appreciate the experiences that you had as it helped you decide what new experiences you wish to create. Oh my goodness, it feels so good. There's this rush of cosmic energy coming in for everyone. As by doing this video, I realign myself to the source energy. There is no loss because you are it. You are all of it. May you experience unity consciousness and feel a connection